Thank you so much for tuning in to the Michael Lofton Show on Reason and Theology. Let's talk about a follow up to the situation that we saw a few days ago where a pro LGBTQ group appeared on the Jubilee calendar for the Vatican, on the Vatican calendar website. And I did a whole video showing the problems with it. First, I showed that there were some fake news headlines about this affair. People were saying Pope Francis proclaims a LGBTQ plus Jubilee year. That turns out to be fake news, as I've shown to people. Breitbart and others who promoted that, in addition to Bishop Strickland, were just promoting fake news and fake headlines. But I did point out, but there are still some issues with it because there is a pro LGBTQ group on the calendar for the existing upcoming 2025 Jubilee year, and it was on their general calendar. And when I started to look further into this group, it's not that they're just there to, be merciful and welcoming to everybody and tell people, hey, if you're struggling with this sin, come to church and, you're totally welcome to come and receive God's mercy and forgiveness. That's not what they were doing. They're very much in favor of saying the church has been wrong to say that homosexual acts are disordered and sinful, and these are actually good. There's nothing wrong with them. And posting some other wild stuff like a naked female Jesus on the cross, just some really weird, disgusting behavior on part of this group, which should have not been listed on this calendar. Now, while we were doing that stream live, I was showing people there on the calendar while we were doing that show. Somebody said it was no longer on the calendar. No, I hit the refresh screen. It still showed up on my end. I don't know if that's because of cookies or something. I don't know how that works. But right after the show, other people were saying, yeah, I tried to go like from scratch. I tried to go to the actual place and couldn't find it. And then when a number of people said that, I said, okay, well, let me not just hit refresh. Let me actually just go and start from scratch. Let me go to the calendar and see if it's still there. And sure enough, it was no longer there. So it seems that while I was live showing this to people, it's here on the calendar, it was taken down. That's interesting, right? Now, I don't know if they are still going to be hosted at the Jesuit parish in Rome. They were supposed to be hosted there. I don't know if that's still happening, but they were just taken off the calendar. No explanations, no apologies, no more information on are they still going to be hosted by a parish in Rome? Nothing, just kind of swept it under the rug is what happened. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Before I show you how it gets worse, though, let me first show you where I presented to everybody that it was on the calendar, lest somebody say, Michael, you made it up. No, I didn't. I always come with receipts. That's why I showed y'all even during the original show where they're on the calendar. And now I'm going to show you on the follow-up show, me showing you where they're on the calendar. Pilgrimage of the Association, La Tenda di Giornata, and other associations, September 8th, 2025, and this is the group in question. Very clearly on the website, this is jubileum2025.va is the name of the website. So it is a Vatican website. So you can't deny it. I'm literally showing it to you right now, and I'm belaboring this point for a reason. You'll see why here in a moment. Issue, I did confirm when I went to the Jubilee calendar, jubileum2025.va. So this is a Vatican website. I was able to confirm. If you look at September 6, 2025, Pilgrimage of the Association La Tenda di Giornata and other associations. So they are on the general calendar. They're not under the special events calendar, but they're under the general events calendar. They're trying to, I guess, make a distinction on the website between general events and special events. I don't know. what the main difference really here is. Catholic culture is saying, okay, so I showed to you right there, they were on the calendar. Later on in the stream, somebody said that, well, they've just been removed. I refreshed, it was still showing on my end. Okay. So again, I show that to you so you know I'm not just making things up. I'm not just coming out of nowhere. I make sure that I know what I'm talking about before I say something. You know why that's important? Because now we're being told by a Vatican official that it was never on the calendar. Don't believe your lying eyes, guys. All right. Just FYI for the people working in the Vatican, here's the way it works, okay? If you put something up on a website and you take it down, there is still a way for people to go and verify what was posted on a website previously. There is what's known as the Wayback Machine. I know you guys at the Vatican are really, really far behind. You guys are still using fax machines in some cases. Let me catch you up to speed. People are able to determine what was on a website even after you take it down. Just FYI, okay? So the "it was never there to begin with" thing, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Number 2, when you have guys like myself, content creators, who will do a stream showing people, "Hey, it's right here on the website," that stays up on YouTube. So when you delete it from your website, it doesn't automatically delete from, say, my YouTube video where I showed that to people. Okay. It's still there. People can still see that. Just so you know, whenever you try to sweep something under the rug, let me offer you a few pro tips here. Maybe that's not the way to go about doing it. You might want to look for some more intricate ways to do something of that sort if that is the direction you want to go. Just FYI for those who are in the Vatican watching. So now we're being told, don't believe your lying eyes. Look at this. So Vatican Jubilee office denies LGBTQ calendar posting. A spokesman at the Vatican's Dicastery for Evangelization denied Wednesday that a controversial pilgrimage had ever been listed on a Vatican calendar after the pilgrimage was removed from the online calendar earlier this week. The spokesman spoke in reference to a planned Rome pilgrimage during the Vatican's 2025 Jubilee year, sponsored by Italian organization Tenda di Giornata and planned for pilgrims who identify as LGBTQ. The planned pilgrimage caused a fracas this weekend with online commentators and news reports suggesting that LGBT pilgrimage had been organized by the Vatican's Jubilee office or called for, approved, or directed by Pope Francis himself. The pillar reported on Monday that the pilgrimage was sponsored by the Italian association Tenda di Giornata, not the Vatican, but that it had been included in an online calendar organized by the Jubilee office. Soon after that report was published, the pilgrimage disappeared from the Jubilee website, and users commented that when they clicked on the link, it took them to a arrow 404, not found error. And reached by phone on Wednesday. A spokesman from the dicastery told the pillar, we don't know who the spokesman is. Is it low level? Is it high level? Don't know. The pilgrimage is not on the website because it's not an official event sponsored by the dicastery. Asked why the pilgrimage had appeared previously on the website, the spokesperson denied that it had, stating twice that the pilgrimage had not been listed on the website calendar. So is this spokesman just incredibly incompetent? They just don't know what they're talking about. So they're giving information when they haven't fact checked things. Are they lying? What is it? I don't know. I'll let you determine. Is this spokesman lying, or were they just misinformed? If they're misinformed, they shouldn't be speaking until they're informed. If they're lying, they shouldn't be speaking at all. Right? So either way, it looks bad and is bad and shows what I've often pointed out for a very long time now. The Vatican is really failing when it comes to communication, unfortunately. And that goes from Pope Francis all the way down. There is a whole lot of room for improvement when it comes to effective communication from Pope Francis all the way down. We've seen that with this pontificate, and frankly, it's not even unique to this pontificate. It is something that can be said about even previous pontificates. Benedict. John Paul II, and others. Maybe to a lesser degree, but certainly to a degree. The diecast referred the pillar to Tenda di Gionata for further information on the pilgrimage. Of course they did. Now, an archive version of the calendar posting can still be found on Web Archive Portal. This is what I was telling y'all about. And thumbnail previews of the link still show the pilgrimage website, right? This is the Wayback Machine on archive.org. I guess the Vatican just, they don't know about this yet. Yeah. Yeah, we can check that kind of stuff. Okay. So again, either we're being lied to or the spokesman is so incredibly incompetent that they don't know what they're talking about, but they still chose to speak about a subject they don't know anything about, which is never wise. At that point, you would want to say, I don't know. Let me go and verify. Let me go and find out if they were on the calendar, and then I'll get back to you. That is what any competent person would do. But have we seen a whole lot of competence from some of these communicators at the Vatican before? I don't know. Again, I'll let you answer that question. So yeah, this is pretty wild stuff. So we're either dealing with incredibly incompetent people, or people are lying. And let me show you another one here. Organizers and supporters reluctant to discuss planned LGBT Jubilee Day in Rome. And an Italian Association of LGBT Christians has said it has received official Vatican approval to make a pilgrimage to next year's Jubilee in Rome, although the Vatican's Jubilee organizers say they are neither supporting nor opposing the event, while the figures behind it are declining to comment. Of course they are. Of course they don't want to comment any further. By the way, that other article does note at the very end here, neither Tenda di Gionata or Father Giuseppe Piva could be reached for comment, so we're kind of getting stonewalled at this point when it comes to follow-up questions. So yeah, all right, let me tackle this, even though I tackled it in the last show, this notion that, well, this isn't an official approval, as I pointed out in the last show. Okay, well, here's the concern with that. First of all, what message does it show, and how does it come across to most people, right? That's number one. Number two, all right, what about a pro-death penalty Catholic community? Would they also be put on the calendar? They're not officially endorsing their views, right? Vatican's not officially endorsing death penalty by having them on the calendar, right? Right. What about a pro-abortion Catholic group? What about a pro-women's ordination Catholic group? What about pro-capitalism Catholic group? What about, there's a whole bunch of things, right? At that point, you can have just anything. What about a set of a Contest Catholic group, right? The Vatican doesn't have to endorse their agenda, right? What about an anti-Pope Francis Catholic group? What about those who are Catholics who say Pope Francis is the Antichrist? Would they be allowed? Obviously, this only goes so far. Whenever you say, well, we're going to have you on the calendar, but we're not going to endorse your agenda. Okay, well, what's the limit here? At that point, you can have anybody then on the calendar, right? Anybody. But I suspect some of those groups, they would say, no, we can't put you on the calendar. Okay, but on what basis? Right? On what basis? It's just doesn't make sense. Seems odd that they were put on the calendar. I suspect somebody knew about them and had no problem with them being put on the calendar because they know what kind of message that sends. And then others who did have a problem with it, whenever this blew up in the news, all of a sudden take that down, but then they don't want to answer any questions about it, right? And then others don't know what they're talking about and say, oh, no, it was never there, or they're just lying to us. What does it say at the end of the day? That there's so much incompetence going on in the Vatican at this point that it's incredibly embarrassing. And I think we've known about this for quite some time. This is a repeated pattern we've seen over and over. A lack of organization, a lack of solidarity and commitment to the Catholic faith on part of some people at the Vatican. A lack of support even for Pope Francis among some people at the Vatican. There's some people at the Vatican who are completely undermining the Pope himself. It's just not everybody's on the same page. Lack of organization, a whole lot of failure to be transparent we'll see wild stuff go on. Questions will be asked, no answers are provided. This is just not how to run the church. This reminds me more of, kind of how we're getting the government right now, giving us conflicting messages on the drone situation, right? I mean, this level of incompetence, this level of a lack of transparency, this level of confusion is maybe something I would expect from secular governments. It's certainly not what I would expect from, from the church. And so it is disheartening to see this kind of stuff. Well, anyways, I wanted to follow up with y'all about this so that you get that bit of information. If there's any other major developments to the situation, I'll certainly let you know, but I did want to do a follow-up with you to kind of let you know how things are going. I'm going to be coming back and doing another show here in just a moment on the Billy Carson debate situation. It's pretty fascinating. And then after that, probably going to do a third show today where I'm going to do a follow-up on the drone situation because there are some developments there. So, all right, I will see y'all soon. Hey, if you enjoyed this show, if you benefit from the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. There's a lot of ridiculous people out there who don't watch the videos, who say all kinds of silly things without actually watching the content. And because of that, there's just so much misinformation about myself, this channel. I would appreciate the support to help offset some of that misinformation. So again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, and hey, consider supporting the channel at Patreon, on Patreon. You'll get access to extra content and you'll be helping me do what I do. This is how I provide for my family. And this is also how I can continue to offer you these videos for free. So do consider supporting the channel there. Patreon.com/Reason and Theology. See you in just a little bit for some more shows. Are you ready to deepen your faith and sharpen your understanding of theology? Welcome to the Center for Theological Research, your gateway to transformative learning. At CTR, you will find in-depth courses designed to equip you with the tools to grow in your understanding of the faith. Explore courses like the 7 Ecumenical Councils and uncover the foundational truths that shape Christianity. Master the ability to determine the level of a doctrine in the Theological Notes course. And in the Logical Fallacies and Apologetics course, you'll learn to spot the logical errors often encountered in non-Catholic apologetics content. Also, check out the ebooks that are available to you for free. Start your journey today. Visit ctresearch.org and take the next step in your faith formation. Are you seeking clarity in the midst of confusion about Eastern Orthodoxy and Catholicism? In my book, Answering Orthodoxy, I offer a biblical and historical response to the most common objections that Eastern Orthodox offer against the Catholic Church. This book is for anyone searching for the truth, whether you're Catholic, Orthodox, or simply trying to make sense of the differences between Catholics and Orthodox. Order your copy today and discover the rational, biblical, and historical basis for the Catholic Church. Visit Amazon to order your copy today. Are you ready to deepen your faith and sharpen your understanding of theology? Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and if you want to support the channel, visit patreon.com/Reason and Theology.